So good morning everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Today is Wednesday, August 6th, and these are gotta be tough conditions in the markets today. We are in this higher time frame consolidation leg. We have the swing high that was created, all-time highs, retraced back down all of last week, Thursday and Friday. We couldn't find a cracking correlation here on the lows, so there's no confirmed SMT on the lows to continue this buy program. Prices that expanded up higher, retraced up, tackling these old highs, created this old high here, no form of SMT again, and now we're coming back down here, retracing again down to this leg to have no validation in terms of the lows and highs, and we're creating little expansions up here again. This is a consolidating market. It's taking both buy side and sell side, but also at the same time generating higher time frame interest. So the more time it spends around here, around this little area, the more it's building up more liquidity. Because think about it, right? As the time is passing, there's more sessions being passed down too as well. And each session has their own form of interest. So whatever doesn't get tapped just gets left behind for interest in the future. That's what's currently being left behind, and this is the most challenging part because there's nothing to trust. There's nothing in form of validation of going up or down. And if there is, it's probably just gonna be like little scalps today. So very, very hard. So in terms of buy side, we have still Thursday's PM session from yesterday. Remember, yesterday's live stream, I was anticipating price to use this as turtle soup to expand higher to attack the PM session from Thursday, but instead, 10 o'clock news came out. We had a reverse in direction, and it headed down lower, dealing range from this high to low. And we've been trading inside this dealing range since then. Now, this dealing range will eventually expire by 11:30. Or we could work inside this and see if we can tackle little short-term buy sides, little short-term sell side. Very difficult conditions in the market today. Now, if we're going to escape this, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. We have an implied mitigation block going upwards. In the next 15 minutes, right, I want to see this expand aggressively to go up higher. The low here comes at 23,056.8. Wow, exactly right to the midpoint. So now we'll see if this will be used as an excuse to go up higher. Okay, so this is a little concerning. The fact that we didn't see huge expansion upward on this implied mitigation block or failure swing. Because if it was going to be a true failure swing, I would have wanted to see expansion covering up to the high of that was created at 822. But we're not getting there, are we? So if it's not going to go up there, where else do you think it's going to go? Down, right? So we're looking for a speedy expansion upwards. But the best entries will be existing at discount side of it. We see that the US 500 has already met that. So it's a Dow. So I wonder if we'll have like a six sister effect where since these two have already approached their highs, will we start seeing the highs met on NQ here? Why am I setting up a buy limit here? Because if we have an implied failure swing, right? Not just on the higher time frame, but on the intermediate time frame, right? But on the short time frame, we have this failure swing that caused an up move. Because this failure swing is not attached to anything, I guess, to another failure swing, I consider this like think of it like a propulsion block, right? Where two order blocks are kind of stacked together. Okay, I kind of think of it like that, where two failure swings are stacked together, like a propulsion failure swing. So if it's something to that effect, then I will take the LTE of the current failure swing, and then use that to go upwards. But in this case, since it's separated, it's kind of just a lone wolf. I'm gonna anticipate it reacting in like a turtle soup manner, where we take down the low of that swing, continue up the upwards trend, especially because we're looking for somewhere discount. This happens to be below discount on both failure swings, implied failure swings. So it'll be perfect for a price to dip down back to discount before it could expand going up higher. That's why I have it set up as a entry here on the buy limit. Same thing here too. Look at that. The high of this dealing range is also sus because it is a lone wolf, so we anticipate acting like a turtle soup mechanic on the high. So if it's going to do that, it first needs to rally up, and if it needs to rally up, this would be a good reason for it to rally up for. Okay. We're still on discount. Also, don't forget the conditions that we set in the beginning. There's high consolidation market. I mean, what the heck? Okay, pierce through that bearish breaker. See that? We'll reach up to the PMs finally from Tuesday. Notice that we didn't even tap the old high here. This old high, we didn't even tap it coming back down. So what does that indicate? Speed, no? Now the next challenge is going to be the London high here. We don't want to see that act as turtle soup to continue down lower. We want to see this to be pierced aggressively up towards this pool. In a very challenging market, don't you think? Now think about it. We're back down to discount again. Will you still be able to trust price to continue going upwards? We're still referencing that old high. We've already fulfilled that old high. So the conditions for this, which we call it, the conditions for this open float has been met. I wouldn't feel comfortable trading it again. But check it out. Look what we created. Buy side delivery, sell side delivery. Isn't that something? We could see a retrace up to the equilibrium side of this dealing range before it sells down lower. Wouldn't like to see that though, because it goes against this position. So I move my stop loss down to the high here. Why? Because we've had a balanced price range and we've already dipped above it, so it shouldn't have seen speed down to the sell side. Okay, we're gonna see if this is gonna be acting as a reclaimed bearish breaker. Interesting how we're still reacting on the discount side of this implied failure swing. We haven't really left it, have we? No, look at that. Bearish break a block, traded on through it. And acting as support, as well as with the old London lunch buy side liquidity. Alright, so it's 7 o'clock. So now we're anticipating these dealing ranges to take effect here. What do we have? We have this balanced price range that connects to soup to dip back down to these old lows for expansion. I do see this old London lunch buy side liquidity pool maybe act as support as we did here last time. What else are we seeing? Dealing range going upwards, so it could just go down to equilibrium here, only to expand up higher. And then lastly, we have a type 2 dealing range, so we anticipate this to expand going up higher. The issue now is, where is your entry? You have no problem piercing through these old highs. Why are we on the sell? Okay, so the reason why we're on the sell is we're on the mechanic of the higher time frame dealing range from this high to low. Since it's separated from this higher time frame balanced price range, I want to be treated this as a turtle soup entry. On the lower time frame, we're seeing indications that price needs to go up, but as you see these old highs, they have already been referred to. So yes, even though it's easy for price to continue to go upwards, right, because it's already been traded to, it should be easy for it to go up, which is why I'm breaking even right now. But if we're going to be treating this as a turtle soup entry for the higher time frame in respect to it, this old high should be referred back to because it's an old session high where there's resting buy stop, so you can get in a quick short and aim for the sell side liquidity pool on Asia. And I liked how it's stacked between these two ranges, so that can be like our entry and our stop loss. So an old high to be referred back to would be interested in selling, using it to sell short, right? Because something else that has been referred to, something else that has not been referred back to, are those Asian session lows from Tuesday. This was last night. So these have never been tapped before. They haven't been referenced by the algorithm. So I'm interested in that being seen as a liquidity pull target. These old lows have already been met. So price should have no problem referring back to these levels. And to just pierce through, heading down towards that low. Because we're respecting the mechanic of the higher time frame range, which will have its effect played out until 11:30 today. So we'll see if that will play out the expansion down lower. That's why I'm on the short. And even though our indications are pointing out to higher prices, I don't want to see it be respected at this time. That's why I'm kind of like quick to break even right now in this trade. And plus, not to mention that we're also on this very high resistance liquidity, and we're also on a very consolidated position, so anything goes, really. Now, I want this to just sell so fast right now, but just the fact that we have to let things breathe, let things manifest at its pace. This is hard to watch when it does something like this, goes against you, you know? But we're trusting that the move is that they're seeking for sell side. That's all that's left. That's all that's left to refer to if we're gonna keep going down. If we're gonna keep going down, right? I'm not gonna lie, really hard conditions today. So we thought that we were gonna head down lower, right? Using that mechanic, and now we're re-challenging that old high again. It's not good news. It's not good news that it wants to go down lower. We've also used this inverse breaker, as an inverse now. Traded above it, treated it as support once, twice. Now we're gonna see if it's gonna head up higher over 2 p.m. session. Buy side liquidity. Alright guys, I think this is where I'm gonna close the stream for today. Very challenging price action today. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of temptations, lots of ideas for trades. It's a matter of which idea did you fall for today. And sometimes you submit to your own ideas, even if they don't pan out. So I'll leave it towards that. Right now, the way it's behaving, I'm favoring PM session buy side liquidity from Thursday last week. We'll see how that goes though. Alright, yo, have a good one.